What's going on, y'all? 75 Junction, it's your boy Sherm. I'm here with a very special guest today. Today we got Tommy Raemon in the building. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good. It's a pleasure to be here, Sherm.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you coming out.
For sure.
You know, we got his boy Mace here, cameraman, getting another angle. So we're going to go ahead and get this interview popping, man. So for those who don't know, you can introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
What's up, world? My name is Tommy Raemon, former coach, now full-blown entrepreneur. City on My Chest is my clothing brand, and I'm full steam ahead with it.
Okay, I got you. Now, you said your background was in coaching and stuff like that. So you play at high school football, correct? Gloucester?
Mm-hmm. Played at Gloucester, played at Ward, and then went to college, played at ODU.
Okay. And what was that experience like? Your father was a coach and for football, did that kind of mold you and push you in that direction for football?
Yeah, the day I was born, he was at football practice. So I came out the womb, right to football practice. So that's all I knew.
Okay.
And I love the game, but it was time to take a break and get away for at least a year or two. So we'll see.
I feel that. Now, you were having some issues as far as balancing, what you wanted to do between, scouting and between actually, doing your clothing line and your brand and stuff like that. So can you kind of explain how it's difficult being an entrepreneur and having a full-time job or trying to get a full-time job to help fund it?
Absolutely. Coaching is a profession like no other. A lot of people don't know that when you're coaching, that's 120% of your life. Mm-hmm. And I had an opportunity to come up with the Miami Dolphins, and I didn't get the job because they saw City on My Chest, and it was thriving, but, the demand they asked from you can't have other things going on.
Right.
So I actually didn't get the job, and I was pissed because I really wanted it, but it's just, that's the nature of that beast. You got to be, all the way in, 10 toes down, and they not really putting up with, you got little endeavors this way or that way.
Right.
It's from 6 a.m. to about 8, 9 at night. It's every day. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because as a business, they're looking at, okay, what can you do for us? You know what I'm saying? Aside, they don't really care about what's going on.
One goal, win football games at whatever price, whatever cost it comes with. So.
Now, and I like that you said that, win football games, because, that's a big part of scouting is basically finding the right candidate for that team. Okay, I know this team is lacking the defense, so I'm going to get a, good linebacker or whatever, position that you need to fill.
Yep.
So in doing so, what do you need to have, to be a scout?
Believe it or not, you really have to be a fan of the game first, because you have to spend endless hours watching tape. I mean, endless. So if you're not in love with football, you're going to hate it. So if you have that passion, that love, that's the first thing. And then just learning the game, what to look for. Each position has a particular skill, a trait we say in the scouting world that you look for. And like each position has about 1,000 of them. So it's like little intricate parts that you look for every player to see if he has this or that. So.
Okay, I got you. Now, when you were doing the actual scouting and stuff like that, and getting these people, do you feel like that attention to detail kind of helped form your brand and mold it a little bit better?
Absolutely. I'm very high on attention to detail, and like in football, you can't miss a beat. And one little thing, if you miss on a guy, could be detrimental to the team, your career, his career. So you want to pay attention to every little thing. So that's the same way I am with City on My Chest. From top to bottom, dot my I's and cross my T's.
Okay, no, I feel that, bro. So what inspired City on My Chest? Like what was the inspiration for the name? Like what made you say, okay, I'm gonna get City on My Chest and
I was already making shirts in college, just to match, shoes I had. And Lil Wayne, huge Wayne fan, came out with the Carter 3, and he had a line that said, "I'm so hard, I'm so mean, I'm so New Orleans." And I used to switch that to Newport News. And I was like, man, I'm gonna put that on a shirt. And I was on Custom Ink designing it, and my girl at the time told me it was whack, and it crushed me.
Damn.
It crushed me, and so I ended up putting it off, and until we ended up breaking up like a year or two later. And so that was 2011 when it could have came out. It didn't come out to 2013.
Gotcha.
And one day I'm like, man, I'm gonna put my shirt out, and I made it. I'm so Newport News T-shirt. Wore it to the club one night, and people were just kind of taking notice to it. And that was kind of like the birth of City on My Chest.
Okay. Yeah. And it's dope because you actually tailor the I'm so and you fill in wherever they're from, correct? Yeah. So Newport News, Hampton, or,
so
New Orleans.
No matter where you are, where you're from, City on My Chest caters to you.
That's smart, and it's good branding because now you made it something that's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's mutually exclusive to one specific group of people or one area. You know what I'm saying? It's worldwide at this point. I'm so Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make it whatever.
And I tell people it started, here in Newport News, but it's, worldwide. So I always say from Newport News to Timbuktu, it doesn't matter. City on My Chest.
Oh yeah, man. Now let's talk a little bit about the designs. Like, so this one you got that you're wearing today,
Yes,
it's a silver design or white design with some sparkles in it. So and it's got the state of Virginia in the back. I'm 75. So what's your designing process like when you're sitting down and you're brainstorming? Okay, I think I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that.
Actually, just living day to day, I get inspired by things I see. One thing about being from here, people always say I'm from the 7-5. I'm from the 7-5. So that always stuck out to me. And I was just using the numbers at first, and then I thought, what could be different? So I said, maybe if I spell it out. So I spelled it out instead of just having the numbers. So that was cool. And then I was just, just really playing with designs. I probably put 1,000 things behind it or beside it. And finally, it just made sense when I put the Virginia logo behind it. And I saw it, I was like, yeah, there it is. That's it.
Okay, I got you. Now, if you don't mind, can you grab the hat and just show the camera angle and kind of explain the design that you have on the hat?
Absolutely. This is the locator C. And it's a location, if you familiar with a GPS, the little pin symbol.
Yeah, the little pin. Yeah.
So we cut it out and turned it into a C.
Okay.
C on my chest, where you from on the map, you thinking. So real simple, clean, but ideal. I love it.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to purchase something from you, where would they go or how would they go about doing so?
I have a website, cityonmychest.store.
Okay.
I'm also available on social media on all platforms. So as much as I want to direct people to my site, my DM stay jumping. People all day, every day hitting me like, yo, can I get a shirt? Do I need to go to the site? I'm like, yeah. It was like, I could just send you the money. So, and you want to capture the sale, right then and there. Sometimes you put it off, they'll fade away. So, but eventually, business keeps growing. Everybody has to go through the site.
Absolutely.
My phone doesn't stop ringing.
Well, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, definitely a good problem to have.
So, your father, he was a coach, and he also coached Mike and Marcus Vick. So, what was that like growing up and having such iconic people, in your circle and basically a family friend?
It was unbelievable. And to me, it's just Mike and Marcus, but I sometimes forget the magnitude of who Mike is.
Right.
And I've known him since 6-7 years old. So we run around the house playing video games, and then boom, it's like wild. Then boom, he the #1 draft pick in the NFL, and it's just like he turned into a star overnight. So even at I was in the 6th grade, and my school was going crazy, like, yo, Mike, and I'm like, yeah, what's the big deal? Like I still couldn't really gravitate towards the star he became.
Right.
So, but he's unbelievable. I mean, he supports me in everything. He was a big part of City on My Chest, early exposure, getting it out, putting it all over his social medias, wearing the shirt. So, things like that I could never repay him for.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you that next. Like, having Michael Vick is such a close friend, and having your brand and being able to use his platform as well. Him willing to extend his platform to help you market it. How has that helped? Jumpstart the brand?
I'm blessed, first and foremost, blessed to come into a situation to have a guy like Mike or Marcus or the BW Webbs, the Tyrod Taylors, guys that I grew up as friends, true friends, become stars, and now they can put my brand on, a bigger platform. And so it's definitely a blessing, that's not something I worked for. It's kind of, I lucked up, to have a circle full of guys, who prospering, in sports. And, we love sports in this country.
Right.
So it hits a little different, when you see these guys with it on.
Absolutely.
And I knew they wouldn't wear it if they didn't support it. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's still a dope product. So
okay, I got you. Now speaking of loving sports, what's your favorite football team?
Believe it or not, I don't have one.
What?
Yeah, I do not have one.
Okay.
My pops never had one, so growing up, and I didn't understand. I'm like, Pops, why you ain't got a favorite team? He was like, it's a business. And now once I got into it, I understand, football paid my bills.
Right.
So it hits a little different when that check is involved. It ain't just, Sundays watching it with the boys. If we keep losing, I'm gonna lose my job type deal. So
right.
So, but if I had to pick, I tell people I'll go with the Steelers, and it's all for hometown reasons. My dad was drafted by the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's from Newport News. My first opportunity in the NFL was with the Steelers. So I had to go with Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Okay, I feel that, man. And it's good that you mentioned that too, because it is a business, and if you're actually in the business of it, you don't want to form any biases or anything like that, because you're focused on one goal, one objective. Now, you mentioned Mike Tomlin. I know he kind of played a pivotal role in your development, growing up, like as a mentor and stuff like that. So what was y'all's relationship like? And can you explain a little bit about that?
It started back in the day. My dad had a free football camp, and Mike Tomlin was a camper at my dad's camp, and he won the MVP award. So naturally, he got an award from my dad, and like, what's your name, son? Mike Tomlin. They stayed in contact, and then he goes on to be, Mike Tomlin, head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with having that, he cherished that moment. When I was coming up as a young coach, he kind of took me underneath his wing. Okay. And I would write him or call him or text him, and he'll hit me right back. And, that was, that's you can't ask for that. I mean, that's priceless. Yeah, like it may take a day or two, but he'll always hit me back. Like, Reamon, what's it called me? Young Reamon, what's good? And, we'll be rapping. Yeah. So it's a blessing, definitely a blessing.
Okay, hell yeah, man. Now, you said your first gig was with the Steelers in the NFL, like your first official NFL gig. Yeah. So what was that like, working with the Steelers and that organization?
It was cool. I was an intern, so, you're in the building, but, you're doing all the nitty-gritty work, which is cool, which is expected. So I was working with the receivers. So, Antonio Brown was still there. He was amazing. He was great. Big Ben at quarterback. So, all these guys that, you see on TV making plays, I'm working with every day. And it's just, it was like a dream come true.
Right.
Because I wanted to play in the NFL, and that didn't happen. So it was like, what's next? I still had that grind, that itch to get there. So I made it, in a different light.
That's dope, man. That's just you pretty much got there by any means. That's you know what I'm saying? So, like you may not be playing there, but you still got there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so plan A don't work, it was on the plan B. So
yeah, I feel that. Okay. Now, the Steelers, and then after that was trying to get with the Miami Dolphins, correct? And, you missed out on the opportunity, but in missing on the opportunity, how did that help change your mindset or change your drive to do what you were doing?
I kind of went back and forth with it, like, because sitting on my chest is a passion of mine, and I hated to put it on the back seat. But I also, at the time, football was my full focus. So I was kind of trying to find a balance. And in football, like I said earlier, it's hard. It's kind of impossible to do other endeavors.
Right.
With working on that stage, on that level. So it kept me motivated to the fact that I wanted to be, maybe if I make it so big, I can bring my brand back. Or maybe if, you become so successful, you can do what you want. So I feel like, okay, for now it can stay on the shelf, but, in due time, I'll be where I want to be. I can bring it back. Or I didn't know how my course was going to go. And now getting away from coaching for a little bit, I'm full blown on it, but I still have those connections, reaching out to those guys, and they still hit me up for shirts. So it's definitely, everything's happens for a reason.
Right. Yeah, it's dope because, working with the NFL, I help put you in a position to make the connections to be like, hey, bro, where you from? Yeah. Okay, bet, you mind put the shirt on for me and just post it on social media.
And the thing is, it sells itself. Like, it's not like I'm really out here trying to, like, early on in the game, I was kind of like, yo. But now, once people get wind of it, it's like, yo, you can put my hood on the T, or you can put where I'm from on the T.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. And it was like, bet, I need that. And it kind of like, that's dope. Like, the fact that it kind of speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah, man.
So,
because it's basically like a luxury version of like when you go to the gas station and they got the 757 hat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like a legit version of that.
Absolutely.
And like we said earlier, it's like a worldwide version. You know what I'm saying? You can pretty much market to anybody, anywhere.
Everybody's a potential customer, and I love that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Man. That's crazy. So how many different designs do you have? I mean, obviously you have the ones that are tailored to the city, but is that like your only design, or how many designs you got?
No, I actually got away from the I'm So now, and I've created. If you look on the social media, it's a design that has 3 lines going through it, which stood for Uptown, Midtown, and Downtown, but. Deep down, that's what it stood for, but it was just a cool design. So when I created the lines, I'm like, okay, 3 lines up mid downtown. But I just brought back actually the I'm So 75. I got away from that, and people kept asking me for it. So I brought this back as an OG t-shirt. Okay. And now I got the 3-line design going on. But I'm always playing with designs. If you ever peep over my shoulder one day, I'm kind of on my app, just looking at things, moving things around, just trying to get inspired to find the next look.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about inspirations, man. What inspired you to do the actual, I'm So brand? Like, what was your inspiration for all
being
that?
Proud of being from Newport News, Virginia. Okay. I mean, I love the city. I love the people here. And me being in sports, traveling around, meeting other athletes, we rep 7'5".
Right.
Hard as hell.
Yeah.
So that's basically what drove me to like, yo, let me put it into something physical that people can see, because we love the crib, we proud to be where we from. So now let's wear it loud and proud. So it was easy. So
okay, I got that. Now, do you draw any inspiration from any like designers or clothing lines that are out already? Like, was there any particular brand you were like, okay, you know, that's pretty dope. You know, that kind of inspires me to do it, or their origin story. You know what I'm saying? Did that inspire you or anything?
I mean, growing up, I mean, even now I'm a huge Nike fan, so everything Nike does, I pay attention to it. Okay. And even with the fact that they can grab the biggest athletes in the world, so in my head, I'm like, maybe, I can grab them one day. Like, because to be honest, I know they from somewhere, right? So I feel like I got a shot with even, you know, the biggest of the names. And some of the biggest names out there, you know, I've had KD, I've had Steph before, and the shirts never appeared, but I knew they told me they got them though, so I knew I can get to those guys. So I'm still waiting. If you ever see that picture floating around, Steph with a North Carolina shirt, and KD had a Maryland shirt. So if you ever find that pic, let me know. But that's hard. Me got it. Even Kevin Hart said he got his, and he told me he was gonna wear it on his TV show. Never saw it, but I know somewhere in that closet it's in there. So maybe on a rainy day he might pull it out. So. That's
wild. So you know, that's crazy, man. I would be speechless. You know what I'm saying, in that position. So what was that like? You know, obviously you've been around stardom, you've been around, you know, big names and celebrities and things like that. But when they actually reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
Yeah,
and they just
I shot my shot. Say, hey, I got shirts, and I send pictures of other guys wearing it with Vic. I had John Wall, Chad Johnson. Nice. You know. So it kind of like, okay, Pusha T had it. So when they see that, it's like, okay, it's a cool design and guys already wearing it. Kind of makes it easier. So when it was like, yeah, send it, I'm like, bet. Damn. The next day it was out the door. So
when you got that good to go, like, what was that like, man?
It was kind of surreal, you know, because you know I'm a humble guy, and it's like, and granted I still haven't seen the pic, so I never try to get too excited or get too low on a moment, but I just know that, you know, my brand is real, it's alive, and you know, people respect it, and you know, sky's the limit.
Absolutely, man. I mean, just the fact that they saw it and received it, you know what I'm saying, like that.
That's all you can ask for. Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
That in and of itself, man. Like the fact that they just reached back out, it's like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just me. You know, they reach back out to me and they give me opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's definitely crazy. Yeah. So, you know, moving forward, well, not forward, actually, we kind of go backwards a little bit. So, you know, you did your stint at Virginia Tech, and then you got the job over as the scout for the New Orleans Saints, correct? Yep. Okay, so what was that like in that transition from going from Virginia Tech to the New Orleans Saints?
I'm going to take it a step further. It started at Christopher Newport. I was at CNU for 2 years, and that's when I started reaching out heavy to the Saints. But coming from a smaller program, they really didn't take me serious. Right. So it pissed me off. So I ended up leaving CNU to go to Tech for free. People don't know that. Damn. So I took that opportunity on the good faith of trying to get where I wanted to go. So I called Bud Foster up. I'm like, Coach, you know, I'm looking for an opportunity. He knows my story. I'm at CNU. And he was like, you can come here, but we ain't got no bread for you. At the time, I'm like, you know, that's a tough one. Right. So but you talk about sacrifices to get where you want to go, you know. So I went to Tech for a year, you know, didn't make a dime, you know, had some tough nights, but I just kept the vision, kept the determination, kept writing the Saints. I'm at Tech now, boom, 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 boom. And then that's when the opportunity came. So it all paid off.
Okay, that's good, man. I mean, the fact that you had the tenacity and just the courage. I mean, because that's what it is. You know, you had courage and the, you know, supreme faith that, you know, everything's gonna work out, because you're like, all right, I'm taking an opportunity to do something for free. Yep. Which 9 out of 10 people not gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
It was tough. It was definitely tough. You know, I had some long talks with myself at night, but you know, when you got a dream, you got that vision. You know, won't nothing stopping me. So
that's a good example for people to listen to and to actually abide by, because you got to make sacrifice. You got to do what you got to do if you want to get to, you know, where you want to be. Yep. It's about knowing how to position yourself to get to where you want to be. And you knew Virginia Tech was a bigger platform than CNU was. You know what I'm saying? Because CNU, their football team ain't really, you know.
And a lot of people don't recognize the opportunity unless it's coming with that paycheck. As soon as he told me I could come, pack the car, I'm gone. I'm on my way to Blacksburg. So.
Yeah, Blacksburg. Damn, I forgot how far it was. Like in the mountains.
In the mountains, cold, no bread. You know, just $1 in a dream, literally. So.
Oh man. Okay, J. Cole fan.
Yeah, I rock with Cole.
Okay, I see that, bro.
Shout out to Cole.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. So, having your clothing line, being an NFL scout, what is your ultimate passion? Now you're doing the clothing like full on. That's kind of what you wanted to do.
Yep.
do you find that more valuable than being the NFL scout, or do you feel like both of them are kind of just synonymous and help form who you are today?
Yeah, they both go hand in hand. You know, football doesn't make me. You know, it was a great accomplishment to make it to the NFL, but it's more life to live, you know, and Absolutely. I realized that. So it was I can check that off, you know, my list of, you know, been there, done that. But it's, you know, it was time to move on. And I could come back around to it. A year from now, I might be telling like, "Yo, Sherm, I miss football like crazy. I'm gonna get back into it." But right now, I'm happy. I'm in a good place.
Okay,
and, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, and that's what kind of, you know, put me towards, you know, this angle of like what makes you happy. And you know, like people don't realize like from August to February, like there's no days off. You're in there every day from sun up to sundown. Like this time of the everything I'm doing this time of the year I've never done before, like ever. Like small things, even like my birthday is in August. I've never spent the birthday because I'm always in training camp. So
mine too, man. Leo, Virgo.
Okay, I'm Leo.
August 12th. Virgo. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. August 30th.
So from 9 years old to now, I've never spent the birthday outside of football. Like, people don't even like small things like that. You know, you take for granted, and then, you know, just being able to, like, some friends, like, you know, fall time, a lot of weddings, guys getting married. I can go to family weddings, friends weddings. Never, always missed them in the past. So just small things like that, you know, you lose sight of. But now, you know, I'm happy. I cherish these moments. So
that's phenomenal, man, because a lot of people don't understand that, you know, you do miss a lot of these things, and that goes into the sacrifice portion of things too. Now, when you were doing all the football stuff, and football is pretty much your life, do you feel like you kind of, you know, missed out on life and didn't get to really live life the way you wanted to live it because you had to dedicate everything to football?
Yeah, I missed out on a few things, but I don't regret it at all. Like, you know, football was a passion of mine. It still is. And, you know, I had a dream, and I wanted to touch that dream. And I knew what it took. It's not like it took me by surprise. I knew what it took to get there. So, but once I got there, okay, what's next? You know, I'm ready to move on to the next chapter of my life.
Okay. So we've been talking about a lot of positives, a lot of ups. What are some of the trials and tribulations that you face throughout, you know, making a clothing line, and, you know, whether it's, you know, finding a manufacturer, finding a, you know, wholesaler or whatever it is, like what kind of issues or roadblocks you ran into?
Man, it's a lot of hard work. People think because I got a great idea and I know X, Y, and Z, it kind of just happens. But no, I spent some stressful days, you know, in the lab trying to, you know, find a manufacturer, get things right. You know, it's still stressful, and like every day is work. Like, you know, it's no way around hard work. People want orders, people expecting it in a timely manner. So even if you got this going on, people still want the product. And so just small things like that, you know, I try to just stay on top of. And really just try to take full advantage of, you know, using my insight, my knowledge of coaching, of being, you know, accountable, and like, because football is a sport like no other, and a lot of high demand. So I just keep that same intensity, you know, when it comes to the product of, you know, dot my I's and cross my T's. But as far as just everyday work, I mean, it's a hassle. It's not just all smiles, you know. Some late nights and early mornings. But I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have a business, but nobody said it would be easy. Yeah. So.
No, that's definitely facts, man. Now, I'm going to ask a little bit of a personal question. So, you know, growing up, and again, you grew up with Michael Vick and things like that. Now, when he had those issues with the dog fight and all the, you know, allegations that came out about that, how was that, you know, being so close to him, being in a circle and hearing all the things that B was saying, hearing all the things that people were saying, like, what was that like, you know?
It hurts because I know the guy Mike is. I mean, I can't say one bad thing about him between our relationship, but I know what the media portrays, and they had their reasons. So, you know, I kind of just stayed out of it because, I mean, they, you know, he did what he did and they felt the way they felt. But I also know he's like a brother to me, you know. The relationship is 20 years old, and I just know all the things he's done for me that I could never, you know, repay him for. Right. But I also respect the people's feelings of how they feel about their animals and their dogs too. So it was a tough situation, but I learned a lot. You know, I was in high school when that happened, and even, you know, a guy that's sitting on top of the world can be brought back down if you ain't acting right. So it taught me at 17, 18 years old, like, no matter what, you still gotta, you know, watch the company you keep and what you're doing, because nobody's invincible. So.
That's definitely a good point, man, because a lot of people their head gets a little bit bigger than you know what they think they are. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that in the blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you got can be gone. You know what I'm saying? The roles can reverse. You know, all that stuff. I mean, literally. So it's definitely good to be humble and you know, keep your head on your shoulders.
And he handled it like a man too. So I learned a lot just from the way that he handled it. And you know, he took it on the chin. Yeah. You know, did his time. So you know, hats off to him for that.
Yeah, man. He definitely handled it with poise and you know definitely did it professionally. You know what I'm saying? There's something a lot of people can't say they can do.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with that kind of pressure. You know, that national media
he was
pressure,
the biggest
you know
name in sports at the time.
Yeah.
You know, he was sitting on top of the world. So
yeah, man, I definitely admire his game though, man. I mean, he was definitely one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen.
Absolutely,
you know
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Okay, so and what position did you play? You were quarterback?
I played quarterback. Yeah.
Okay,
got you. Quarterback.
Now, what was that like playing quarterback? You know, for ODU and you know when you were going through high school, like you know how did that help drive you to want to go to the NFL and you know?
Yeah, I tell people all the time. At 10 years old, I see a guy become the #1 draft pick in the NFL. So right then and there, I realized dreams can come true. So it became a real life situation. Like I can see this guy, I can touch this guy, I can see the jewelry, I can see the cars, I can see the fame. So it wasn't kind of just a facade or fairy tale. It was like if you work hard enough, you know this could happen. So you know I stayed focused, you know, and grinded, and it didn't work out. But you know I gave it my all, and that's all you can really ask for. Absolutely. Then, like I said, when it didn't work out, you know, playing. You know, change lanes, keep focused. You get there in a different aspect. So
okay, I got you, man.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when you were doing the scouting, you doing all the NFL work, and your time was really involved and wrapped up in all these things.
Yep.
What was it like, you know, with just general relationships? You know, whether they be intimate relationships or you know, family and personal relationships. Like how much of that strain?
It's hard. It's tough. You know, I was in a relationship at the time, and it kind of you know suffered because of the stress of the job, you know, like I said, from sun up to sundown, you're gone. Like, and then even I'm on the scouting side, the coaches actually sleep in the facility from Tuesday to Friday. They got a room they cleared out just like this with bunk beds all over the room. So it's from Tuesday to Friday, crazy. You don't go home. The coaches don't go home. So I'm going home late at night. The coaches sleep there. So when you talk about that grind, you know, you got a wife and kids at home and you can't see them. So just to win a football game. So
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. A lot of people don't know like what really comes with you know that profession.
That's a little bit of nice insight, you know, background there.
Yeah. So they get paid a lot, but it's a lot to come with that.
Facts. Absolutely, man. All right, so let's talk a little bit about all the different clothing options you offer. So you got T-shirts, you know, you got hoodies, you know, what else, you know, hats.
We come in full circle for the wintertime drop. So it's gonna be T-shirts, long sleeves, crew necks, hoodies. For the ladies, I got crop top hoodies. They also have long sleeves. We're gonna have scullies. We got the dad hats. You know, sooner or later, when the time is right, you'll be able to be sitting on my chest from head to toe. That's the goal. So I think that'll be very dope.
Absolutely,
you know, a whole city fit, you know, from head to toe. So I might even drop some shoes one day. Who knows?
That'd be dope. Hell yeah, that'd be dope, man. Yeah. So looking at the path forward, what's next for you in your journey?
Good.
Oh, did you hear me?
No.
Okay.
I didn't hear you did that.
Yeah. So moving forward, what's next in your journey?
An opportunity down in Miami might be, you know, coming about. Okay. And I think if that does happen, what I could do with the brand in that market will be, you know, tremendous. So I'm excited to see if that, you know, transpires. So I'm excited about that. But if not, right now I'm back home and I'm full steam ahead. You know, there's no place like home. And I think, you know, I keep building the empire here and just keep building day by day. It's a grind. So wake up, go to work.
Okay. Hell yeah, man. All right, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I know you're busy. I know you got things to do, so we're going to get ready to wrap it up. Do you have anything that you want to add on a concluding note to the interview?
Nah, cityonmychest.store. Come shop. Like I said, we make everything custom, no matter where you're from. And it's not just cities. I have businesses reaching out as well. So whatever you want to link with the brand, you know, we can do. So it ain't just, you know, I'm from here, I'm from there. It's like, nah, if it's 75Junction, you know, if it's, you know, whatever it is, we can do it. So I think that's dope. It's endless possibilities.
Yeah, man, so. Absolutely. So where can people find you as far as social media is concerned?
City on My Chest on IG and Twitter, City on My Chest.
Okay.
And, the IG has all types of looks, no matter what I put on the site, somebody always wants something else. So if you go to the IG, you know, it's probably 100 different combinations up there, you know, colors and, you know, products. So
okay, word. And your personal, do you want to give that out as well, or?
Coach Reamon. Coach Reamon is the personal IG. You can hit me up there as well. City on my chest is the business. Yeah.
Okay. Well, word. I want to appreciate. I want to say that I'm appreciative of you coming out.
Absolutely. I'm a fan. I told you, I've been peeping this for a while. You know, it's very dope. It's an honor to be up here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
A lot of good people done sat in this seat. So
yeah,
you know,
no, definitely, man.
Keep
Definitely
it going.
got plenty more to come. Again, like I appreciate you and bringing your brand up here and put it on display and things like that.
Before we go, I got something for you too.
Okay, word. Appreciate you. Okay, hell yeah, man. Appreciate you, brother.
There you go.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, you got the pink for the breast cancer awareness.
Hell yeah,
so,
no, that's hard. I was definitely gonna get some breast cancer shoes, man. So I'm gonna put that with the fit.
For sure.
I'm gonna put that up after this, man. All right, well, I appreciate you, bro.
No doubt.
Thank you, man. All right, y'all, make sure y'all go ahead and follow Tommy Raemon on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all check out his clothing line, City on My Chest. It's all over the place, man. It's worldwide. Make sure y'all go to his website, cityonmychest.store, and go ahead and cop a piece. They do all kinds of custom orders, so make sure you get what you want. All right, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Love. Thank you.
Absolutely. 75Junction out.